guys, thanks for tuning in. This is the first type of sort of podcast video that I'm doing, and I think I'm gonna do these more often because there's a lot of t.A.T.u and Lena and Julia content to discuss, and it's a little more interesting to do it in an audio/video form than just to type it out and put it on a web page. So the first topic that I actually wanted to discuss for this, series is one of the latest things from Lena, which would be her newest single, Kosi, which translates to braids in English. I wanted to just talk about the song itself, what I think of it personally, dissect it a little bit, and talk about the different details of the song. So Lena released Kosi August 3rd, 2018. The original date was on July 30th. But it got pushed back to August 3rd, which actually isn't the first time this kind of thing happened to Lena. I can't recall exactly what other single or release delay she's had, but I know she's had issues before. And it actually was interesting to me because it happened during, I believe, Mercury retrograde, which that's kind of notorious for messing things up and causing delays and causing technical issues, which I believe that was the fact of the matter. That is why the delay occurred, because there was some sort of technical problem that they had. That's besides the point. So she released it on August 3rd, and when I heard it, I was really pleasantly surprised. Instantly, I noticed that it was quite different from the material that Lena has released with her first solo album, where that was more like a pop rock type of style, which I think overall that album was pretty good and she did a decent job with it. But with this new release, Kosi, I thought the song was extremely different, and the style really works for her, I think. When I heard Kosi for the first time, I actually instantly liked it. There's times where, songs kind of have to grow on you, but with this one, I was into it immediately, and that was really shocking and pleasantly surprising to me. So with this song, she took a more kind of dance approach, sort of like a house dance kind of vibe to the song, which is very current, very present in the music scene now. It kind of reminds me of like a Dua Lipa kind of sound. And some people might argue, that it may not be the most original thing because she's kind of jumping on, the bandwagon of what's currently trending in music. But if you do it right, the song can come out well, and it can be really an enjoyable track, which for me, it's a pleasure to listen to. The song kind of goes with the same style that she's had with Here I Go Again and Wake Up Call, which that was also in that dance genre. So I guess with this new album, she's planning on releasing somewhat of a more upbeat kind of compilation of songs, which I'm all for, an artist kind of evolving and growing in their style. And what I'm noticing is with the songs Here I Go Again, Wake Up Call, Kosi, and now the latest release that's about to happen, McDonald's, which, a lot of fans are kind of outraged at the name and the lyrics of the song, but, let's wait until the full release to judge it. But with those 4 songs, they're all kind of cohesive. They have a similar style. They're in that upbeat, fun, dance house kind of vibe, which deviates from Lena's previous work. But I think this album will be hopefully more cohesive than the last. The last one was a little bit more experimental, and although there was a fairly large, pop rock kind of sound to it, it still felt a little, I suppose, eclectic. It didn't seem like all the songs fit together. So hopefully with this album, it'll be a little more connected. When I first played the song, initially I noticed that little kind of vocal sound in the beginning is kind of similar to Julia's demo Allo Любовь. So that was just interesting for me to notice. The first critique I have for the song is it kind of jumps into the vocals straight away. I wish there was kind of more of an instrumental build-up before the first verse. It's the same issue that people had with A Simple Motion, where I saw some comments from fans when the song was first released where they said, oh, they start singing too early, there's not enough of a intro. The first verse the lyrics and the tone or the style in which she sings that verse is a little off-putting to me because it sounds very like la-di-da. I don't know, it just sounds like almost a song that you kind of would make fun of. It doesn't sound like it's gonna be a good song just judging from that first verse. It's very like la-di-da-da-da-da-da. I don't know how to explain it. Once the song gets going, the rest of it is really appealing. I would have to say if I had to choose one part of the song that least appeals to me, it's that first verse, just because of the tone she sings it in. It just sounds a little, I don't know, unprofessional or immature. And I think the lyrics kind of add to that effect. What I noticed also is that the first part of the song varies from the latter part of the song, where like the first verse, the way it's sung is in an almost kind of different key, different style. That kind of initial vocal part isn't really present in the rest of the song. The deeper voiced echo isn't present in the rest of the song. So the first part of the song is a little different than the rest, and I don't know if that's like a good or a bad thing. It's just something I noticed. So it almost sounds like it starts in one style and slightly changes into a different style for the second and third parts of the track. I think the vocals are great. It suits Lena's voice. She does kind of like a lower pitch in the song, which I think works beautifully when she has to sing it live, without really sacrificing any, vocal quality. I really like that she used higher notes in the song, where in some of the verses she kind of really raised her voice. And my biggest kind of thing with Lena is, I remember like seeing it in Podnebesnoi, where Ivan would kind of push her to do higher notes, and she would say, no, like I don't like singing higher notes, it doesn't work out for me well, I don't know how to do it right.
А ты посвободнее, просто посвободнее пой, и получится.
Там не до нас, я не буду кричать, понял? Я не умею.
Один раз покричи и все.
Один раз крикнуть? Ну, смотрите, затыкайте уши все. Там не до нас.
I never agreed with her on that because I think she has a wonderful voice, and maybe that's not her go-to style, but I feel like when she has to hit those notes, she does it very well. I mean, think about tracks like All the Things She Said. I think she shines in that song. Her vocals come through so powerfully, and there's so much emotion, and you can hear those high-pitched notes come through so well in that song.
Going out of my head. This is not enough. All the things she said.
She also does high notes in Prostiye Dvizheniya, in Klouni, and Doschitai Dasta. So I think she definitely has that vocal range. It's just a shame that she doesn't exercise it in the most correct way all the time. For instance, in her song Wish on a Star, that song is amazing, but the way she sang the high notes wasn't right. Whoever was producing that track kind of, I want to say, misled her, because she can reach those high notes, but the way she did it, the style she did it in, was almost kind of, to me, more annoying. That high note was kind of like squealing than singing, and I know she can hit that high note. It's just if she did it in a different style, if she kind of screamed it instead of squealed it, I think that song would have turned out way better. So I think that the high notes in Kosi are actually done pretty well and fit her voice a lot better. I also recall the Murzilki live performance on the radio station where she sang Julia's part, and she sounded like she was 16 again when she hit that note, but you could see in her expression she was kind of like thrown off. In the comments that I saw in VK and in my mind, she sounded like she was back in, like, you know, the beginning of t.A.T.u times, where those vocals, those high-pitched notes were like prominent in all their songs and people went crazy for them. So I thought she did a great job with that note. I think the lyrics are a bit weird, but I don't think that's a bad thing. In her Russian radio interview, the host asked her that, you know, about the lyrics, and she said that, yeah, the lyrics are kind of almost, you know, not so straightforward. There's some sort of like analogy there, or you kind of have to think about the lyrics to really understand what the song is about. And I like that because, again, that's what t.A.T.u songs were. And not to relate everything back to t.A.T.u, but I'm just picking out good points, and these are the reasons why people really resonated with that project, because of the vocals, because of the songs and their style and the meaning and the lyrics that were a little kind of like poetic and slightly confusing, that you really had to listen to the song a few times to figure it out. So I like that she's incorporating that more poetic approach in this track, and hopefully in future tracks to come. I thought the single artwork was pretty cool. It's a beautiful photo. That whole photo shoot is awesome, and I guess that's what they're going to be using for her future singles, maybe even artwork for the album. We'll see, but the photo shoot overall looked amazing. She looked so cool and high fashion. I was just like excited to look at those photos, and I kept looking back at them because I'm like, oh my god, her hair, the clothes, the poses, they just all look so cool. And I really missed that cool factor that that I associated with Julia and Lena when they were in t.A.T.u. The color overlay that is used is the same as her hair color to obviously reflect the name of the track. And you'll notice that the McDonald's album artwork has yellow color overlays to reflect the name of that track. Also, she has mentioned that they recorded those visual teasers, visors, I don't know how to really say it in English. In Russian, she called it vizory, visual teasers, for, I believe she said, Instagram. So during the interview, I was a little confused because it kind of sounded like she said she wasn't going to release a full video. At least that's what I interpreted. Instead, she's going to release some sort of short format video for these songs. But I really hope that there's a full video, and I hope the video is done well, because I haven't really been excited by Lena's videos in the past for her singles. So hopefully with this new approach, this new kind of artistic style, she and her team figure out a way to shoot a pretty cool video for this single and the future singles. So those are my overall comments for the single Kosi by Lena Katina. If you guys have any comments about what your thoughts are on this song, please leave them down below. And if you guys are into these type of videos, I guess also let me know, because I'd love to do some more in the future. Thank you guys so much. Please remember to like this video and subscribe as well, because I'm trying to make this YouTube channel much more active than it has been. Don't forget to visit tatumedia.com, as well as t.A.T.u Media on Twitter and Facebook, to stay up to date on the latest news about t.A.T.u, Julia, and Lena. Thank you guys. Bye.